Hi, Liz Gillette from Main Street Financial Planning. Today, my money tip for you is how do you figure out what your cash flow and your budget looks like without tracking any of the information? Clients ask this question all the time. They don't have a desire to dive into the details and the weeds. How much am I spending in every single category? Let me gather my receipts and my cash and my cash records to see what I'm spending on my credit cards. So here's my tip for you. Before you get started, you need some prereqs. First of all, you need to make sure that you're current on all of your bills, right? So this process doesn't work if you're a bit behind on what you owe. You're at least caught up or you're making minimum payments on all of your bills. Second of all, you need to have that emergency fund to turn to in the event that an unexpected life event happens, or in this case, you're just blowing your budget out a bit more than you wanted to. So you're on time on all of your bills, you have an emergency fund set up. So here's what we do. This is the stuff that most people skip over. We have to automate the good decisions. We have to automate and say, I want to invest this much, I want to save this month, this much. And instead of waiting toward the end of the month and saying, well, I wanted to save 500, but I only have 250 left, I'll save 250. No, that's not what we're going to do. We're going to automate this at the beginning of the month. So the paycheck comes in 2 to 3 days later, the money comes out. And then what you find is by the end of the month, and it's most effective in longer time periods. I'll talk about that in a moment. But at the end of the month, if you find, okay, my savings happened because it was automated and my bills got paid, but I had to tap into my emergency fund, yet I don't really have any emergency to point to. No big event. I didn't forget about a large lump sum one-off expense. So now you start to have a vision. Okay, well, obviously I didn't stick to whatever I thought my budget was if I can't meet within my cash flow my goals for saving and for investing. And so it's effective in a 1 month period, but most valuable when you look at it in a quarter and even a full year. So even for my clients who aren't tracking their expenses, because it's so tricky in this world where you add it to a credit card and then you pay off most of the credit card, or you shift your money into savings and then 6 months later you spend the savings. Is that even called savings if it's really just a temporary holding spot? So I feel for you. We get this question all the time, and truly by setting yourself up for success, automate the good decisions, have the emergency fund. If you can't point to what that emergency fund was and what that shock factor was that blew up your budget, you have your answer. You are spending more in that particular time period than you are bringing in. So this even works for people who get paid with quarterly bonuses or annual bonuses. Is the more that we zoom out, the more we start to get a vision of this creative financing, and the money goes around and then it circles back and you end up spending it. Make sure that you've got that money to pull from, that emergency fund to supplement you. But I promise you, you don't need to use any app, any software. You will know at the end of that month, that quarter, and that year whether you are actually balancing the budget that you've created for yourself. Till next time.